Good day, everyone. To start things off, Marlene Malia, our past president for 20 years, has, she's right there. She has stepped down, and I was elected last fall as the new president. And we were just a little surprised that they let the youngsters, me and Jeff, do this now. So she and Gino have turned it over to us, and may we take a moment in our busy lives to honor and remember our heroes, the veterans. This is our 112th year at the Lakeville Cemetery Auxiliary Society, and our goal is to keep this cemetery quiet, beautiful, and peaceful so we can come and enjoy being here. We will begin with, are we still doing the march in?
No.
Okay. Well, quiet please, and we will start.
Raising the flag.
Okay.
We will now raise the flags.
On guard.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order. On.
Thank you. We will now have the 21 gun salute.
On guard. Forward. Arm. 3 steps forward. Half left face. Safety's off. Ready? Fire! 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 Forward! Arm! Half right face. Present. Arm! Order! Order!
If everybody would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and join with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Two.
And now we'll have the military service medley by the North Oakland Concert Band.
I couldn't find that in your Apple Music library.
Stand if it's your branch of the service. Stand if it's your branch of the service. Stand tall. Let's see all the Marines standing tall. All the Navy, let's see ya. Navy. All you deckhands, stand up. Coast Guards. Stand for the Coast Guards. I am going to salute this flag for my very best buddy. I believe the Coast Guard one is the only Coast Guard we had up here in the cemetery, Bob Godkin. He passed away last year, 2 years now, and we surely miss him. Now we'll continue. Alrighty, the next on our program is placing of the wreath. The VFW and American Legion and the Cemetery Auxiliary. Please bring forth your wreaths. Gwen, would you place the one for the auxiliary? That one there.
We were called first.
Come on, Kate.
He was supposed to go.
Right up here.
Stop. Stop. Salute. Salute.
Honor guard. Present.
Cheer.
Arm.
Okay.
Order. Arm.
And now the North Oakland County Band, concert band, will, by Mrs. Nick Klein, will play.
Honor guard. Dismissed. Chair. Please brass.
How was that? I think we should give Mrs. Klein a great hand. It's a wonderful job. She's been faithful to us for years now. At this time, I would like to call on Mrs. Flynn. And I want to say this is the largest group that's ever been here in years. and I'm sure glad to see them all.
Thank you, Mr. Malia. And then Maddie, you stay here. Lydia, over there. Claire, and then Kenley, right here. Good. Good, and then Jackie on the other side. Yeah, and then, can you guys now just come in this way? Just move in this way, friends, and follow around. Follow around. Even in that little nose. And go ahead and follow. Okay, hopefully don't fall here. Stand, maybe stand at least 4.
When I look out on mountain, farm and field, my sense of joy just cannot be concealed. And I'm strong with these feelings deep inside. I'm overwhelmed with the sense of American pride. When I look out on this glorious expanse, I'm just so glad to finally have the chance to express all these feelings I can't hide. And I am blessed with the sense of American pride. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. May freedom ever
deserves a big hand, and those children. I don't know when I've seen such a big, I don't know what you call it, if it's an ensemble or it's an ensemble. Okay, thank you.
It's a choir.
It's a choir, okay. At this time, Mary Frost, our new president, auxiliary president, has a reading.
I want to thank all of you for coming today, the young and the old, to celebrate our veterans and to honor them. Yesterday, I learned why we do a 21-gun salute. I didn't know all this time, and I'm not going to tell you. You guys have to go find out why. It's very important. That's one way to get you to talk to the veterans. So today, I'm telling you about the meaning of each fold of an Honor Guard funeral flag. I did not realize that it's so important. Every fold has a purpose. So every evening at a time specified by the commanding officer, military bases throughout the world conduct a solemn ceremony called retreat. During this ceremony, our national colors, accompanied by the music, are lowered from the staffs. The flag is then folded into a triangle shape and kept under watch throughout the night. This is done in tribute to our honored dead. Each of the 13 folds has a special symbolic meaning. Our flag is folded from the stripes forward. The 13 stripes represent the original colonies that founded our republic. The 15 stars represent the sovereign states now comprising our nation. So let's get started here. The first fold is a symbolic of life. The second fold is symbolic of our trust and belief in eternal life. The third is made in remembrance and honor of the departed veterans who a portion of their lives in defense of our country. They have not died in vain and shall not be forgotten. The fourth fold presents our weaker nature. As Americans, we trust in God and turn to Him for divine grace in times of peace and war. The fifth fold is made in tribute to our country. In the immortal words of Stephen Decanter, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it is our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold brings to mind where our hearts lie. It is with our hearts that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is in tribute to our armed forces, for it is they who protect our country and flag against all enemies, whether they are found within or out of our borders of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to those who have entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day. The ninth fold is a tribute to motherhood. It is through their faith, their love and loyalty and devotion that the characters of our great leaders have been molded. We're almost done, guys. I can see these youngsters going, oh my gosh, here, she keeps going on. And we enjoyed your songs. It was beautiful. The 10th fold is made in honor of our fathers. They too have given their sons and daughters for the defense of our country. The 11th fold represents the lower portion of the seals of King David and King Solomon and glorifies the gods of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold is the collective religious faith of Americans. It symbolizes eternity and glorifies the righteousness of God. The 13th and final fold is made in honor of the 13 American colonies whose fighting force gave us liberty. And just a side note here, we have one of the soldiers from the Revolutionary War here in our cemetery. When folded, the flag stars will be uppermost, reminds us of our motto, "In God we trust." The flag now takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, which, if you don't know what that is, if you look at a picture of Washington, George Washington, That's the hat he's wearing. It now reminds us of the soldiers who once served under General George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served with John Paul Jones. They have been followed by their comrades, shipmates in the United States forces, who have preserved for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms which we enjoy today. So what I would like to have all you do, if you just take a minute, so go out and find a veteran and sit a while and listen to their stories, because they're amazing stories and they gave their lives for us so that we may join today in this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary. At this time, I think it's only appropriate that we give honor to our new Vice President, Jeff Benson. Would you come up, Jeff? Just to let people know who you are and why you're here. This is our new guy, and I know he's going to be ticked at me for calling him up unannounced. But this is Jeff, and he's our new Vice President of the Lakeville Cemetery. Give him a big hand.
Thanks, Gino. I don't know how I can outdo that introduction, but real quick, I would like to thank each and every one of you today for coming and paying homage and honor and respect to the military veterans that are laid to rest here. It's not too often that people would take a few moments from their holiday weekend to do this, and I'm very, very appreciative and very, very proud of each and every one of you. The leaders here that have supplied services and entertainment, Net, Jan, the wonderful folks over here from the American Legion. You know, I can't say enough about that. So thanks. Hope everybody has a good time. And Gino, thanks for a great introduction.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we will have some guest speakers, and I'm going to call on Annette Adams. She's from the Michigan Veterans Affairs.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
So great to see all your faces and to see them in person. I'm so used to being on meetings and calls where it's virtual still to this day, so it's really great to be able to see you all out here today. My name is Zanetta Adams. I am the director of the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency. I was appointed in June of 2019 to serve our 567,000 plus veterans, not including their family members and caregivers and dependents. And so, you know, as the 11th largest veteran population in the country, we have a big job. But, you know, as I stand here today on Memorial Day weekend, you know, it's always difficult to find the words to say to families and survivors and people who have endured maybe the loss of a loved one in service. And so, you know, I would say, you know, as I was speaking with some Gold Star families the other day who lost family members while on active duty, the word that kept coming to me was community. At the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency, we are pretty much the resource hub for military veterans, their families, and those folks out here who are helping to take care of our veterans, whether you're a spouse or a child or a grandchild or a friend. And, you know, community is so important because it's our job to make sure we're connecting all of you to community. And it takes community so that to help us to be able to move forward so that we will not take for granted the sacrifices that have been made for us over the years. You know, I've often seen the phrase, lest we forget. And, you know, the sacrifice, we always talk about freedom not being free. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, disabled veteran. I fell from a deuce-and-a-half truck with the rails up in 2005 and severely injured my back. And I was in a wheelchair and told I'd never walk again. And when I joined the military, I didn't think about the sacrifice that my family would have to endure in helping me to get back to a level that I'm at today. And so first off, I want to thank all of you for the sacrifices that you've made. One, coming out here just to honor the veterans that are here, but also in the sacrifices in the military communities that you've made as well. because truly each and everything that you've done, whether you've sent a letter, you've said a prayer, you've visited a grave site, or you've just thanked a veteran for their service, you are making a difference in the lives of veterans and their families all across this state. And so I thank you for what you're doing. And I remind you that, again, freedom is not free. And so we have a responsibility for the freedom and the rights that we have gained because of that freedom and the fight that has happened since the Revolutionary War, to be responsible with the freedoms that we have. You know, before I turn it back over to Gino, I wanted to, first off, I wanted to ask our Air Force veterans to stand. I know I didn't see a lot of you stand during the song, but I know that some of you were out there. So can we give them a round of applause? I had to give you a shout out, even though you stayed in hotels and I didn't. That's okay. You know, you have to make your shots while you can, and I have the podium, so I can do that.
What about the Army?
We're that's it. I mean, we're the ones. I have to just tell you before I turn it over, quick story of why I chose the Army. I joined in 1998, and I was in college, and I said I wanted to give back to my community. So I was already in college. I wasn't joining to pay for college, but I wanted to do something more, and I've always had a service mentality, which is why I went into law to help veterans get connected to their compensation and benefits, and that's why I'm in this job today. But I joined because I thought about the Air Force, and I said, if I get shot down, I'll probably not make it. If I'm in a boat or a submarine in the Navy and something happens, I probably won't make it. Marines, that's just too much for me. And I said that at least, in the Army, I can put on some face paint, blend in with the tree, dig a hole. So that's why I chose the Army. But I will say that I want to encourage you, and as we celebrate, having barbecues and picnics afterwards, we just remember the lives that were sacrificed and the blood that was shed in our country so that we can have all that we have, and never, ever, ever take it for granted. There's not one day that goes by that I don't take for granted that I can walk today. And so don't take for granted the sacrifices that were made for you. Thank you so much for having me, and it was a great honor to be able to come out and share Memorial Day weekend with you.
Amen. At this time, and this is the first time I've ever did this in my life, I'm going to introduce a gentleman, and I'm going to call him a buddy, but he's a lieutenant colonel. And you say buddy to a lieutenant colonel in the Army, you've had it. So at this time, I'd like to present Lieutenant Colonel Rusher, my buddy.
Thank you so much. In 1993, there were a number of historical events that made an impression on us in many ways, changed the world forever. For instance, the World Trade Center was bombed by radical Islamic fundamentalists. We were introduced to Beanie Babies as they took the world by storm. Federal agents raided the religious cult in Waco, Texas, and there was a devastating earthquake, a tsunami, I can never say that word, tsunami, yes, that decimated parts of Japan, killing over 200 people at once. And the first bagless vacuum was invented and revolutionized how we perform our domestic duties. But notwithstanding, all those historical events pale in comparison to the day, or to tomorrow, May 29, 1993. That was the day I married my sweetheart. I solemnized my vows by sealing with a kiss. And the impression it made on me was more than inspiring than the Beanie Babies, more earth-shattering than the tsunami, and more gratifying than the bagless vacuum. So in that aspects, I want to begin today by honoring my bride for 29 years with a set of roses. I love you, baby. Thank you for an amazing journey, and thank you for agreeing for allowing me to be here.
Big hand, big hand.
Director Adams, President Frost, distinguished guests, and to the community at large. Thank you for the signal honor to speak on behalf of my fallen comrades. It was during the summer of 1776 when a wealthy statesman scripted a document which was published and posted on a building. That document and that building gave our forefathers and our ancestors hope of freedom and change. 187 years later, a rising Southern Baptist preacher reiterated those words on the steps of another building that gave our parents hope and freedom of change. President Thomas Jefferson and Dr. King wrote and said these 35 words. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those 35 words were challenged in 1776 and 1963. But while these times were pivotal in America, these 35 words were tested and stood their resolve 11 times. It stood their resolve during the War of 1812. In 1817, the First Seminole War. In 1846, the Mexican-American War. In 1861, the American Civil War. In 1898, the Spanish-American War. In 1917, World War I. 1941, World War II. 1950, the Korean War. Thank you. 1960, the Vietnam War. 1991, the Gulf War. 2001, the War of Terrorism. These pivotal points were protected by America's and Michigan's most precious resource, her children. Now, her very children lie here in honor, in this sacred and respected soil. As I mentioned to Mr. Jeff, while this is not Arlington Cemetery, there is no guard to overwatch the tomb like that of the unknown soldier. There is no bugle playing taps at 2300 hours every night. There aren't a row of marble headstones or buried U.S. presidents here. But what is here and who is here is just as great. These service members secured the freedom we enjoy today. These service members made a way for my great-great-grandparents who freed them from slavery. These service members made a way for our great-great-parents that were immigrants. These service members allowed us to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In September of 2008, in September 2018, I was selected to be the Detroit Lions hometown hero. That was such an honor. 1 week prior, during that time, Colin Kaepernick came on the scene and sparked controversy in the NFL during the playing of the national anthem by kneeling instead of standing. I wanted to enter the stadium low-key, so I came in my civilian clothes, but I had my uniform and my garment bag. A reporter saw my garment bag, and he ran up to me with an inquiry. He said, "Are you the hometown hero?" I reluctantly responded by saying yes. He wanted to know how did I feel about the controversy surrounding Kaepernick and the national anthem. What are you going to do? He asked with grave concern. I told him that freedom is risky, but it produces better results. While I feel a greater sense of reverence, dignity, and honor for the flag and could never kneel, because to me, it represents the bloodshed of those who gave all. Yet I respect his position and the right to protest because the same bloodshed that gives me the right to stand gave him the right to kneel. Notwithstanding, the way I choose to express this freedom is not only by standing, but also rendering that hand salute. Thank you for giving all on our behalf. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Colonel. That was great. And I still can call him Buddy. At this time, we will have join-in song of God Bless America with Ann Rosinski. Where's she? There she is.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
I wonder if I could get the bagpiper here. I neglected to give his name and where he was from. So when he puts his instrument away, if he'll come to the podium, and I will ask the band to play a couple of tunes because you walked a long way. Can you do that?
You want me to play right now?
Yeah, he's coming back, I think. This is ad-libbing. Thank you. I'd like for all of you to welcome Donald Ross from Rochester Hills. Donald did one heck of a job. One heck of a job, didn't he? See, my buddy says so.
There you go.
If a lieutenant colonel says it's good, it's got to be good. I would like to say that was one of the best, what do you call it, songs you play on a bagpipe. And you've been playing for how many years?
52.
He's been playing the bagpipes for 52 years. And we just now heard of him. We're going to have to invite you back next year.
Thank you. Thank you, Vito.
You're welcome. Now, thank you for playing. Now, at this time, I'd like to call Hugh Siren of the American Legion to give us our blessing.
Please remove your covers. Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts which we are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Today is a day of remembrance, a day to remember those veterans and families who made the ultimate sacrifice, as did Jesus Christ, so that we can have the opportunity to have the freedoms of life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness. God bless everyone here today, and Thank you for coming.
Thank you. And now, I would like to invite everybody here to a luncheon right over there beyond the tent. There's refreshments, there's chicken, there's potato salad, so get over there and eat. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out today and making this another memorable Memorial Day. Thank you.